Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sunday. It's 10:58 in the morning. Oh no, it's actually 11:56. What is this? Oh, that's actually because DST happened last night. That means I have to go redo the clocks on everything except for the automatic things like the cable locks.
It means thanks for reminding me I have to fix my watch.
Yes, mine actually fixes itself automatically because it uses
But
stuff.
mine is an analog.
Yep.
So...
Yep. Fix your clocks. Fix your clocks,
fix
everybody.
Your clocks.
If this is your reminder, because the vlogs are mostly up to date. If you haven't done it already, please go ahead and do it, because you will need to, and I need to change a whole bunch of clocks. That one's been dead since sometime. Well, not even sometime. It's been dead since apparently 2/21 at some day when I was in LA. Whether that's AM and PM remains to be seen. But yeah, so that clock needs to be changed. But if you have any analog or non-cell phone calling clocks, yeah, you need to update them. Here is your nice reminder. But I spent most of the morning actually working on, well, first off, I did use the extra hour basically to sleep, but I pre-edited yesterday's vlog, so that's all up and done. I gave Avery all his files because I need to get all the equipment back. Because the plan for the rest of today is actually to, well, I also cleaned all the equipment back up, so we were ready to go. It's all kind of just here, so I can go take it back shortly. But yeah, so we're going to go take it back. We're going to hopefully try to leave it in Sarah's room so that I can just kind of come pick it up tomorrow. I don't have to haul everything on the train. So it would just be nice. But yeah. So I've been working pretty hard this morning. It's not exactly a day off by any stretch because I have all the things that I didn't do yesterday that need to get done now. And, well, we'll go see some of those in a little bit. But for the moment, actually, laundry is what's on my agenda. Back to university with this one.
Yep, because I don't live here yet.
Time to go back. We have all this gear back here, as you can tell by the giant boom pole. There's more of it in the trunk. But we're going to go try to leave it all in your apartment so that I can just come get it tomorrow morning so that my life is not hell when I have to try to carry all of this on the train. Because that would just be bad. That would not be a fun time. Okay, gear and equipment dropped off now, going back to house, because I need to get some shit done. But there's one thing that's been kind of on the to talk about list now for quite some time actually, and I haven't done it. For those of you who don't know, I've had an iPhone for 6 years now. I got mine in February 2010, I believe, my iPhone 4. And I had that for 4 years and basically ran the thing into the ground and then switched to an iPhone 6 right before the vlog started. I got it presumably November 5th, 2014. And I signed a 2-year contract with the thing. And, well, if you notice where I'm going with this, November 5th was yesterday. And it's been 2 years. So my phone contract is now expired. And Verizon does not do contracts anymore. I'm with Verizon, if I have not mentioned. Verizon doesn't do contracts anymore. They're, I think, the last of the made-for networks to do away with contracts. But, yeah, don't have a contract anymore. My phone's expired. So, it might be actually time to go switch this up. But, so it's going with the original part of the segment. I've been with Apple now for 6 years. I think it's time to leave Apple behind. There's a lot of things that Apple, in my mind, has been doing wrong. Mostly with the fact that I don't want to switch to a phone without a headphone port. And you might be wondering, well, why? They come with a headphone adapter. And that's just the key word there, that final one, adapter. I don't want to have to use an adapter to run my headphones. I want there to be native support for the darn thing. I mean, it's not an outdated port, because believe it or not, audio does not exist in a pure digital form like video does. Video can exist now in a purely digital form. It does not need anything analog. Audio does not exist that way. Audio prides itself on being analog because you need to convert your thing to analog at some point in time. Whether it's, through the digital audio converter, a DAC on your phone that's built into your phone, or through, if you have an amp on your headphones, that'll have a DAC, or, even if you're using Apple's new wireless earphones, those each have a DAC in them as well, because because audio does need to get converted back to an analog form, because it cannot physically exist in a digital form. It just can't. And yeah, so that's a big reason why I'm going away. I'm leaving Apple. Plus, the new version of iOS has caused me so many problems because it's very, very glitchy and very not patched. And that's one thing that I've seen for quite some time now, because I had an iPhone, iOS 4 was, and it was just beginning to be called iOS, was the main operating system, the current operating system when I first got my phone so many years ago, and we're now up to iOS 10, which makes sense because it's been 6 years and they're about yearly releases. But iOS used to feel so well patched. Like, I'm not even talking about the walled garden right now. I'm just legitimately talking about the quality and stability of the operating system itself. Because it used to be so nicely padded. It used to be... You need to let me over, gentlemen. It used to be like so well padded, so glitch free, so high quality. But then they did away with that, and it was around the turn of iOS 7 where it was just like they decided that they needed to. Well, they fired the then vice president of software design because of the copyright strike, or not strike. Copyright strike. I like how those two words just flow together just from all of my years in YouTubedom. But yeah, so they had to fire their then VP of marketing design, and ever since then, like iOS design, not marketing design. But ever since then, the operating system has been very downhill. iOS 7 was never that stable. And iOS 8 and 9 were basically patches for iOS 7. They were more like service packs than actual operating system versions. This is going to be a nightmare getting home today, apparently. But they were just like patches. They weren't actually like different operating systems. And I mean, sure, granted, all other iterations of iOS were literally just adding features to the then existing operating system. That's generally what happens with operating system updates. Very few operating systems are completely different than their predecessor. So it would be a big giant transition. But iOS 10 just did, in my opinion, a lot of things, maybe not even necessarily wrong. Maybe, some of the changes that they made were okay. But a lot of the changes were not necessarily wrong, but unnecessary. Like, there's really no reason for them to move everything around on the lock screen just to change the way the lock screen functions. Because it just doesn't need to happen. There's really no reason for it. So, yeah, it made a lot of unnecessary changes, as I say, trying to slowly merge into traffic here. So you'll have to pardon me, because apparently 676 is crawling at the speed of ants. But there's not a lot we can do when your operating system is so trash, and Apple has just made this walled garden. I mean, I don't even care that much about. Go ahead. I don't even care that much about compatibility, just because sure, if things work, it's all fine. But somebody got in an accident over here. But, it's not that, I have an issue with the apps or things. It's that I have an issue with the operating system itself. Because what am I supposed to do when my whole operating system is just falling to pieces? Like, even this morning, I was getting glitch messages from 5 months ago just showing up in my notification center, and they weren't even tied to anything. The other day, I got a call from Bethany when I was trying to text someone back using the quick reply, and I could not either finish the message or reply the call because the keyboard stayed on screen needlessly because iOS doesn't have a back button. All of these things, which are just, they're glitches and they're not supposed to happen, but the thing is just that they do. And it just felt like ever since they fired that president or the vice president of software design, they just haven't gotten this operating system to be clean. It's been a mess. And iOS 10 is the worst yet. Not to mention the complete and total, which I 100% believe now after experiencing just living with my phone for the however long has iOS 10 been out now? I forget. Month? 2 months? Planned obsolescence? It's a real thing. I really feel it. It's real, and you'll never be able to convince me otherwise now. So if I ever think about switching back to iPhone, please redirect my attention to this vlog. But because iOS 10 is really just a glitchy mess of an operating system. And the other iOS versions are not that much better. I mean, even iOS 9 had a significant instability. Like, one I would particularly get is if you would, take a picture in landscape and try to turn your phone back to holding it your normal way, with the picture still there, it would frequently freak out the keyboard. It's just that, that bug was there in the original iOS 9 and they never patched it. Not ever. Throughout all of the updates, that bug was never patched. And yes, I know Android is going to be glitchy as well, but I figured I might as well give it a shot. Right? So, yeah, and plus the hardware design. As I mentioned, I'm not that thrilled with Apple's hardware design. Because it's just like, the 7 changed so little. Honestly, it looks just about exactly the same as my phone, and I really don't care. I kind of want it to be different. The only thing they really did was took away the headphone port. So, yeah, maybe does Force Touch seem good? But you know what Google did? They got the same result by pressing and holding. Apple just seemed like they're trying to reinvent the wheel for no particular reason recently. And, thought I'd give another thing a shot. So, possibly today, definitely today we will be going to the Verizon store. And, at some point, fairly soon, I will be switching to Android. Maybe it's today, maybe it'll be in a few weeks, but I'm certainly not getting another iPhone. It's going to be a change. Been here for 6 years, and I'm ready to head on out. Ready to walk on out the door. But again, that's 6 years. That will be a pretty big change, just because I've been, building up my iOS iterations for 6 years, and I had things that I've still used day to day. And I mean, granted, most of the common use applications are there on both platforms. I think the only thing I would have to find a new thing is my Twitter client is not there, but everything else is there. The only thing I'm really thinking that I'm going to miss, other than my Twitter client, is iMessage. Because iMessage is a really great feature to have with being in the basement all the time, just because there's not a lot of cell phone signal, and it's really nice to be able to actually send messages over Wi-Fi, which is just nice. So I'll miss iMessage a little bit. That'll be my biggest missed features. Now, again, it's not like I'm completely ditching iOS, because I obviously have a MacBook, which I know does not run on iOS. Don't get mad at me. It runs on OS. Now it's just Mac OS. It's not even OS 10 anymore. But yeah, so long story short, I'm leaving iOS. I'm leaving Apple. Well, not completely, but at least for my phone. I'm just not seeing the light there anymore. Going to the other side. So, later today, I will be going to the Verizon store, and we'll see about picking up a new phone. Oh boy, look at all the light on the wall. Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the end of today now, because it is only 9:54 at night, surprisingly, but that's like 10. And that's 11 regular time. Well, I guess now it's regular time. Daylight, which we just came from, so I'm kind of tired, but I still have one more thing I need to do before I head to bed anyway. I bet you're wondering what I decided to do for a phone. Well, I don't have the iPhone anymore. Traded it in for an LG V20. Quite the change from someone who really didn't want an XL iPhone to get one of the biggest phones on the market. But, yep, I have the V20 now. Pretty satisfied with it. I'll talk more about it in the next few days when I've gotten more of a time to play with it and really feel around for it. We spent quite a few hours in the Verizon store. But for the moment, definitely satisfied. Definitely.